So we'll see the next concept, continued ratio. Say for example, two persons A and B share an amount in the ratio 3:2, and if the amount is given as 1000. So you'll be asked to find what is A share or B share. So when this value is given, so how many parts are there? 3 and 2, total you have 5 parts. So dividing this with 5, you get value of 1 part. And if you need A share, so multiply into 3. So this you get value of 1 part. A gets 3 parts. So multiplying this with 3, you get A share. So this is 200. So A share is 600. And B gets 2 parts. So multiplying this factor, value of 1 part with 2, you get B share. So that is 400. Now suppose you have another set of persons, C and D, so given in the ratio 1:5. Now they'll ask what is the amount received by B or received by D, so you have to combine this to a single ratio. So but for this question, you can't combine these two ratios. So whenever for AB one ratio is given and for CD another ratio is given, so if you are asked if any one share cannot be determined will be the answer, because there is no link between these two ratios. The question should be any of this person should be mentioned in the other ratio. So instead of C and D, so if it is given as B:C, and now if they ask A share or B share, you can find by combining these two ratios into a single one, because so this is in continued ratios, that is one ends with B, the other starts with B. So if they give a C:B, so just you can interchange the parts, so that if one ratio ends with one value, one variable, the other starts with the another variable. So now you have to combine this two ratios into a single one, getting A:B:C. So to combine this, so one ratio ends with B, the other starts with B. So here this B part overlaps, so you write one below the other. So now to combine these two ratios, so no need to find LCM and all, so just write the ratios also in the same pattern, that is one ends with B, the other starts with B, this parts overlaps. The first ratio for A and B is 3:2, and the second ratio for B and C, so this parts overlap. So write in this pattern and no need to find LCM and all. So just follow this lightning symbol and multiply. So you get the concerned ratio. So writing one below the other. So follow this symbol. So 3 into 1, it is 3. 1 into 2, it is 2. 2 into 5, it is 10. So now we have combined these two ratios to a single one, and we have got a 3:2:10. So total you have 15 parts. So whatever profit or value is given, divide into 15 parts, where A will receive 3 parts. If they ask for C, C will receive 10 parts. And if they ask for B, B will receive 2 parts. Accordingly you can divide the value. So this combining of two ratios into a single one has many applications in your exam pattern. So instead of finding LCM and all, so just multiply in this pattern, you will get a single ratio. So I'll give one simple example how to use this concept and work out. Say total amount available is rupees 1900. So this amount has to be shared among these 3 persons, A, B and C. And the condition here is A receives 1.5 times of B. So whatever B gets, A receives 1.5 times of what B gets, and B receives 1.5 times of C. Now in this pattern they are sharing this value. So combining A and B, we'll see what is the ratio, and for B and C we'll see what is the ratio, and then we can combine into a single ratio and share the amount. So the detail given here is A receives 1.5 times of B. So B mentioned here is the base, and A gets 1.5 times of B. Now this can be written as 3/2:1, or the ratio for A and B is 3:2. A and B receive an amount in the ratio 3:2, and now for B and C, so it is the same factor they have given. B receives 1.5 times of C. C will be the base, and A will receive 1.5 times means 3/2. So which is the same 3:2. So A and B receive in the ratio 3:2, and B and C receive in the ratio 3:2. So by combining both, we get A is to B is to C. So using this continued ratio concept, we can combine these two ratios into a single one. So by writing this B parts overlapping one below the other. So now using the same lightning symbol, so you can multiply, and the ratio got is 9:6:4. So seeing this ratio, when we add all, it is 19 parts, and divide the total amount by 19. So the total amount is 1900, and dividing by total parts. So 9 plus 6 plus 4, it is 19. So value of one part is 100. So after dividing the total by this total of parts, we have got value of one part is 100, and we are asked to find A share. So A share is 9 parts, 900. So if B share is asked, B receives 6 parts, 600, and if C share is asked, C receives 4 parts, 400. So by combining these two ratios, we have used just this lightning symbol, so you get a single ratio, and then accordingly you can give the answer whatever is asked. So we'll see another example to use this concept. So the question here is, sum of digits of 3-digit number is 18. So the value of the number in the 10th place is 3/4 the value of the number in the unit place. The number in the 10th place is 1.5 times the value of the number in the 100th place. Find the number. So this question also you can work out like forming equations and solve, because all that takes time. So in this, units and tens place are compared, and hundreds and tens place are compared. So we can get ratios for both. As I told already, ratio working is very simple. So get the ratios for these two parts, then you can combine and work out. The 10th place is 3/4 of the unit place. So get the ratio for tens and units place, and 10th place is 1.5 times of the 100th place. Get the ratio for 10th and 100th place. So you can combine them and work out. So we'll see the working. So it is given that a 3-digit number, sum of all these digits is 18. So sum of all the digits, that is the units, tens, 100, when added it is 18. And the first detail given is the 10th place is 3/4 of the unit place. So 10th place I'll mention as T and the unit place as U. So 10th place is 3/4 of the unit place. The unit place you take as the base. So it is 3/4. Now what will be the ratio for tens and units place? 3:4. And now the second data they have given, comparing 10th and the 100th place. So the 10th place is 1.5 times the value of the number in the 100th place. So 100th place is the base. So 10th place is 1.5 times of the 100th place. So it is 1:3/2 or 2:3. So we have ratio of 100th and 10th place, 10th and unit place, so which is in this continued ratios. So you can combine this to a single ratio by using the same lightning pattern. So hundreds is to tens and tens is to units. So the same way writing the ratios one below the other. So hundreds and tens is 2:3, and for tens and units place we have got the ratio 3:4. So not only for this sharing the amount of a partnership you have to use this ratio. So whenever they ask this type of questions, so number of digits, one number is twice the other, for all these questions also, instead of solving it with the equation, you can form the ratios where working is very simple. So now combine this to a single ratio by using the lightning pattern. So 2 into 3 it is 6, 3 into 3 it is 9, 4 and 3 it is 12. So the ratio is 6:9:12, but ratios should be in a simplified format. You have a common factor 3, so simplify. So it is 2:3:4. The ratio of hundreds, tens and units is got as 2:3:4. And now what is sum of all the digits given? So sum of all digits is 18. So divide this 18 by sum of all these parts. So we will get value of one part. So sum of digits is 18 and sum of these parts of the ratio. So this is 9. So we get value of one part is 2. So now what will be the number? So the ratio for 100 place is 2 parts, ratio of tens place is 3, ratio of units place is 4 parts. The number will be, multiply this value of one part with each place. So 2 into 2 it is 4, 2 into 3 it is 6, 2 into 4 it is 8. So the number given is 468. So using this combining of ratios or this continued ratio pattern, so we have found the answer for this. So the number here is 468. So we have got value of one part as 2. Suppose if working, you get value of one part as 1. So then what will be the number? So the ratio itself will be the number. 234 will be the number. So here we have got value of one part as 2. So multiplying accordingly to these places, so we have got the answer 468. So you can use this continued ratio concept to work out several questions which is asked in the exam. So suppose we have discussed for 2 ratios. Suppose when you have 3 sets of ratios, we'll see how to combine them using this continued ratio concept. Say for example, say you have 2 ratios, A is to B 3:2 and B is to C as 1:5. So we saw how to combine 2 ratios. This is in continued pattern, ending with B and starting with B. So we saw how to combine these 2 ratios. Suppose you have another set of ratio. So how to combine this to get 4 parts? Say when it is 1:3. So we need to combine this to a single ratio. If they ask what is C share or what is A share, so for that, again this is in continued ratio pattern. Ends with B, starting with B, ends with C, starting with C. So as we wrote earlier, write the ratios one below the other. So the first ratio is 3:2, the other is 1:5. And the last one is 1:3. So now we need 4 parts where all these 3 ratios is combined to a single one. So to find the first part, so just simply instead of finding LCM and all, so multiply all the first parts. So 3 into 1 is 3. And for the last part, multiply all the 3. all the last parts. So writing the first and last part first will avoid confusion. So multiply all these first parts here and multiply all the last parts to get the parts combined concerned for D. So it is 30. The parts concerned for D is 30, and for the second and third part, so you imagine that you have a rhombus in the middle. So it is like a flower to see. All the first parts multiplied will give you the first part. All the last parts multiplied will give you the parts concerned to D. And in the middle, imagine that you have a rhombus, and the left side of the rhombus, so I am drawing two lines to represent that it is the second part. So multiply this values 2 into 1 into 1, so which is 2. And for the third part, so I will draw 3 lines. So for the third part, 2 into 5 into 1, it is 10. So now we have got a single ratio combining these 3 into a single one. So if you have any common factor in this, you simplify to get the ratio, but here no common factor. So when you are asked to divide amount, D will get 30 parts, A will get 3 parts, B will get 2 parts, and C will get 10 parts. So you can give the value whichever is asked. So sometimes they give this ratio and you will be asked to find value of A is to D also. So this question also they ask. So here what is A's value? 3. And what is this part? 30. So you can take this 2 and also work out. So which is equal to 1:10. So now whenever A is to D is asked, say if they ask for B share, C share, so you can use all this and combine to a single ratio and give the values. But if A is to D is asked, we need only the first and last. So no need to work out all this. So whenever A is to D is asked, so just multiplying the ratios. So for A is to D, no need to do all this. So A by B, B by C, C by D. So I have written all the ratios in quotient format. So when you multiply all this B gets cancelled. Only A and D is left out. So whenever they ask B share or C share, so then you use that flower concept to find A's part or C's part or D's part are. But when A is to D is asked, so no need to use that concept. So multiplying all the ratios, you get A by D. The same way, so multiply the given ratios. So as we did for the compound ratio, so after simplifying, you get 1 by 10. So which is the same we have arrived using after the flower concept. So this question is given, and if A is to D is asked, so this question they ask. So there, instead of combining all to a single ratio, merely by multiplying all the ratios, you get A is to D, so which is the same value. So this continued ratio concept, so you will be using in workings of many questions. So using the lightning concept or this flower symbol, you can combine into a single ratio because it is in continued ratios and you can solve. So we'll see the next concept.